Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another unboxing for Massive Darkness. This is some heroes and monster sets. So you have a brand new hero class, 3 heroes to play as, a new roaming monster to fight as. These 2 sets though were Kickstarter exclusive. So these were things that were unlocked as stretch goals throughout the campaign. But when they unlocked enough of them, they just bait them into their own separate boxes. So then, like people do have them. You can clearly go and buy just each of these separate through secondhand markets like eBay or other stores like that, because someone purchased them through the Kickstarter because they're not part of the stretch goal box. But they are only available either possibly through CMON's website or store that way, like through the companies I think that actually ship through Asmodee, but so through the company or like secondhand, like I said. Like these won't ever actually just hit general retail unless people bought the Kickstarter stuff. So they're the harder sets to find. But we're gonna go over them. So they are gonna introduce, like I said, they're gonna introduce 2 new classes. We're gonna have the Sorcerers versus Lord Tusk, and the Noble Warriors versus the Cockatrix. So, like with all the other classes in the game, every hero can play any other class. So the fact that the sorcerer play sheets in this box and the Noble Warriors in that box. There are other sorcerers and Noble Warriors and some of the other classes are in other boxes as well. It's just a recommended class if you want to play as one of these. They had sheets available through the official website. If they're not there anymore, check like Board Game Geek. You can probably pick them up that way. But let's jump in and see what we got. These are great ways, though, if you're looking at additional content for your game. Alright, so we are going to start with the Noble Warriors versus the Cockatrix. So our first Noble Warrior is going to be this gentlemanly elf here, who's all in armor, which is nice to have an elf. It's not just one of the ranger classes. It's kind of a trope. It gets a little, it's nice to have characters outside of their normal comfort zone, I guess. Here is his miniature. This is Azrael. Alright, so he's gonna have Shadow Mode, Defense, Starburst, Attacker, -1 attack dice, and Special Skill, Shield Specialist, Shield Bearer. Equipped 2-handed weapons are considered 1-handed weapons. So that's actually cool, so you can use extra weapons and armor and stuff, or use a shield with his weapons. So it's recommended that you use the Noble Warrior class. So let's look at that sheet here. Well, let's look at him first. Then we'll look at that sheet. Yeah, so he's all armored out, decked out. I love the shield. The cool design on it. Plus the little hand braces on the inside. The spear. Plus he's got some daggers. So I don't think we had a spear warrior yet there are spears and javelins in the set, like as cards we can use. So it's actually cool to get something like that, get a character that looks the part. Alright, so the Noble Warrior sheets are going to say signature, target locked. Choose an enemy in a line of sight. Heroes attacking this enemy gain attack +1 until you use this signature again. And then Commander, he just has command ability. So his levels, he's going to have enhanced health, which every character has. Shadow Encore, gives him some special Shadow Zone stuff. Noble Defense, extra defense. Protector, just to take damage instead of allies. Taunt, and Sword Specialist. So he has a sword equipped, he gets to do some extra damage there. Again, this, it's recommended for this character with his special skills, but again, he could play a different class, or other characters could play this one. So that's actually kind of neat. So now let's look at our other characters. We're going to have this lovely lady here. It's going to be our Shadow Barbarian. This is Milla. So she has Shadow Mode, Steel, Attack, Starburst, Defender gets -1 defense die. Special Steel, Leg Sweep. Once per activation, roll a 1 red die. Starburst, inflict 1 wound to an enemy in the same zone. Diamond, inflict 1 wound and stunning an enemy in the same zone. So she's just up close bashing people, which makes sense for a Barbarian. You know, she could work really well with that Noble Assassin class too. Just because you could use like that sword specialty skill to gain bonuses if you're using her swords. Which she doesn't have to have, but it would work well because she wants to be up and doing damage anyhow. The Paladin classes would work. Characters that are normally Paladin classes would work well because they could use the defense and stuff. But yeah, we got just a fur cloak, double swords. Of course, she's like the standard. Your barbarian woman wearing a bikini. A trope I just talked about, the elf being in armor, being out of the trope, and then we have a barbarian in a bikini, which goes right back in there. Here we have a gnome or dwarf. I'm not sure which one she's probably considered a dwarf. But she's a pit fighter berserker class. We have Zoe, or Zoe, depending on which way it's pronounced. Shadow mode skill, attack. May flip over 1 defender's die. And special skill, bulky. Defense, if the attack deals no wounds, Zoe may heal 1 wound. So she can defend, she gets to heal. Which makes sense for the pit fighter, because they're trying to be right in there. Yeah, she's got that like spiked helmet on. Little tiny shield. Sword studded thing. Definitely like Viking-ish vibe. I like it in the artwork. Her sword is like ethereal. It's just kind of neat, see-through. So that's kind of neat. I don't know if that was supposed to be. I don't know if you can see it better on this side. Not really. Alright, so there are 3 new classes. 3 new characters with a new class. We're also going to get a new artifact. So we have Noble Standard. Attack +1 +1 sword and +1 defense to hero and all allies in line of sight. +1 action to use command an additional time per activation. So that works really well with that class, of course. Then the other thing we're going to get is our roaming monsters, which are big guys that we like to fight. So we're going to get a Cockatrix, which is just a different version of a Cockatrice. So this is going to have 3 health per player. Defense, Starburst, and Diamond. The attacking hero loses the rest of his activation. So usually Cockatrixes are similar to like a... they usually have some sort of like... I'm thinking they do, if I remember correct. They usually have like a petrifying stare. I think is supposed to be the idea there. So if like you attack them or they're defending, they could potentially turn you to stone and it would stun you, essentially stun you for a turn. I don't know why I didn't give them stun as well, but that's the thing. But just that, 2 yellow attack, melee attack, 3 ranged, +2 defense. So it can hit anywhere. It has some decent dice for those. Plus its greater monster gains 3 dice, 4 dice, or 4 defense. This guy's going to be kind of hard to kill. And then you get some of the detail on there. All them feathers sticking out the spines. Little claws on the fingers. Plus he's got like that serpenty tail. Like chicken legs. And then let's do a comparison. Just for size-wise, so we'll grab our barbarian here. So it's a little bit bigger, but it's not overwhelming size for a human to fight. Alright, so yeah, we're a pretty quick little video, and there's not a lot going on with those guys. So now let's jump into the other set. here we're going to have the Sorcerers versus Lord Tusk. And you know, that's the awesome thing. It's neat about this. You could pick up one of these boxes, whether it's this one, the other one, because they have the new heroes, or pick up one of the other regular expansions that have brand new heroes. There's our new Sorcerer. You could pick up all three of these characters, even though they have recommended classes. You could have all three of them be sorcerers fighting against this new monster. So that's just a fun little twist you could do with that. You have all your characters of the same class. It might make the game super easy, might make it super hard. So here we have Ajax. Shadow mode skill. Roll attack starburst. Roll 1 green die and inflict a wound to the... Can't be green, I think it's attack. Inflict wound to the enemy equal to the number of attacks. Special skill Dark Magic. At the end of the round, Ajax may resurrect a dead hero in the same zone twice per quest. Ooh, so that's kind of fun. So you get a free extra resurrection and you don't have to waste your Lifebringer. It's neat, but it's also like, skill's only gonna work if you're dying. So if you guys are doing really well, then it's still kind of wasted. But I guess it's better to not have an extra skill than have dead characters. So I suppose that's one way that works. Alright, so we have... He's sitting there, he's got his skull staff that you can't really see in his picture. It's like bat wings up. He's essentially evil. He's got a sword back there. That's just kind of fun though. Have like characters that would be out of like the normal class. He's maybe like, I might normally be an evil mage, but he's like, these bad guys are even worse. Alright, so let's look at what a sorcerer can do. A sorcerer has Alchemist. Make a transmute action using only 2 cards. And Explosion Escape. Spend 1 action to leave a zone with an enemy, dealing 1 wound to it and moving to an adjacent zone. Skills are Enhanced Health, Shadow Drain, Wound and Healing, nice. Blood Range, so it's going to spend to do wounds. Magic Sparks, extra magic damage. And Fireworks. Explosion Escape does extra damage. And Necro, which is once per activation, when you wound a minion, kill it and roll 1 damage. Deal wounds equal to the number of attacks to that minion's mob. And then once per activation, when you wound a minion, kill it, roll 2 of them, deal a wound equal to the number. That's actually kind of cool. Kind of makes the enemy like a necro bomb kind of thing. That's sort of neat. Alright, let's look at our other classes, or characters. So we got another Armored Elf, which will be another Noble Warrior, which will go great with the other one. So this is Sarah. So these are probably complementary to each other. Sarah gets attack +1 per ally in the same zone. In special skill, follow me once per activation. When Sarah performs a move action, select another hero in the same zone. Both move to the same zone. Yeah, that would say kind of work well. The other one has the command. If you're using it, you also have that commander ability. Yeah, let's look at that miniature there. It's got a little bit different design on her shield. A little bit rounder, a little bit maybe easier to carry a shield, which is a one-handed sword instead of a spear. Plus, like the spikes, the spike feather arc on the helmet's kind of cool. And then our last character is we have another assassin type character. We're not an actual assassin. We just have the Blood Moon Night Runner. To go with like the base set was Whisper. So instead of Whisper, now we have Silence. Shadow mode skill, attack +1 reroll, attack or defense, and special skill Trapper. Enemies in the same zone as Silence get defense -1. That's kind of funny. Silence and Whisper. So he's running for it. He's got his cloak. He's all ready to hide in the shadows, darting in and out. Yeah, so they're the Blood Moon Night Runner, which is they're kind of like the thiefy type class, sort of. They're meant to like get in and out. Then they do have another class you can get in one of the expansions, which is the Blood Moon Assassins. So these characters might work well with that. They can jump in and out and assassinating people. Then with our Sorcerer, we're going to get our artifact, which is going to be Sorcerer's Ring. If any of the heroes steals or attacks wounded enemy, inflict an extra wound. And +1 magic action with magic +1 diamond. So artifacts are definitely worth their weight in being one card. And then our roaming monsters, we're going to fight Lord Tusk. There's Lord Tusk there. 4 health per player. May perform melee actions at a range of 0 to 1. So he gets an extra range on his melee, which is 3 dice. And at the end of his activation, he performs an additional attack against a different hero in range. So you'll swipe at 2 different heroes up to 2 spaces away. That's crazy. Then his upgraded, he gets more health, more defense, more attack. It's more of everything. Here are his things. So his close up, he's gonna hit with this butcher's knife, and then he's gonna swing at you with this giant extra butcher knife cleaver, and hit you from another range space away. And he's got some massive tusks. You can't really see them. He's got like the bones around his arms. They're really cool. Yeah, so that's Lord Tusk. Let's look at him compared to one of our other heroes. So he's a decent, about twice as big. Makes for good competition. I like that not all of the roaming monsters are like these huge, massive, like, they take over everything monsters. It's nice that some of them are a little bit smaller. But there are our 2 Kickstarter exclusive content sets. So if you bought the Kickstarter box, you would have gotten the base game, the stretch goals, and then you would have got these guys basically as a stretch goal. But they're going to come in separate boxes, so some people are selling them individually versus as a full set. And again, if you want to get the extra 2 classes, you could always probably just download the player sheets. I'm sure they're online. If they're not at the official website, check like BoardGameGeek.com. Someone's probably posted a picture of them because they are just them sheets that you can reprint and cross off. Yeah, looking for some more characters to play as, some differentiating, some new abilities, new monsters to fight. Here's some options. See you guys in the next video. Bye.